Have you ever been playing a third-person video game and been controlling your character and thought to yourself, this is so easy to get basic animations. I wish there was something like this in 3D software. Well, now there is. It's Third-Person Kit for Blender. Alright, so here's our little testing chamber here where we'll test out the third-person controller. We will do it with multiple characters, so we get an animation going and we can use a few characters. You can either set up your own camera or it also records the camera animation as you control the character in third person. You can use that as well. So let me jump into the tool itself, give you a little tour of things, and then we'll get started. So this is Third Person Kit. It's very simple. I'll go into each of these tabs in more detail during setup, but let me just give you a broad overview. This is your start controller. This is where you'll start the third person controller. This is where you select your character. Animation setup is where you choose your FBX files if you'd like. This is an optional step. Third Person Kit is meant to work with any character and any set of animations. For simplicity in this tutorial, I'm going to use Mixamo, which is a nice online service where you can automatically rig and animate characters with some pre-made animations. But Third Person Kit is designed to work with a handful of primary animations. We have idle animation, which is what plays while your character's just standing around, walk, crouch or slow walk when you hold down Control, sprint when you hold down Shift, jump when you press spacebar, and the E key, which is just an extra animation. It could be anything. It could be opening a door, it could be throwing a punch, it could be waving, whatever you want. If you choose to set up through these FBX files, again, this is totally optional, then you would just go choose each of those FBX files that you downloaded from Mixamo and click Character Setup. If you take that route, then the Animation tab here will automatically be populated with all of your animations from those FBX files. This works because in Mixamo, each FBX file has the same armature or skeleton. If you want to create your own totally custom animations, that's fine. You wouldn't need to download any FBX files. You would just skip right to this step and you would select your animations from your timeline. We have an offset function where you can raise or lower your character depending on the foot position of each animation. And again, I'll go into all of this in more detail. We have movement options, we have jump, collision, camera options, controls, and finally, again, start controller where it will actually launch us into things. So to get started, let's head over to Mixamo. I'll show you how to download a custom character that you can use and how to set up all of these animations. Okay, let me cover the Mixamo interface. So after you click Upload Character, just choose your FBX or OBJ file, click Next, and it's going to have you identify some landmarks on the body. So wrists, chin, elbows, knees, and groin. After you've done that, go ahead and hit Next again. All right, this looks pretty good. Gives us a little preview. Let's hit Next one more time, and I guess two more times. All right, there we go. So let's download this base model FBX just in the original pose. You could do T-pose, it doesn't really matter. We just need kind of our baseline to import it into Blender and see if things are working. So here back in Blender, I'm gonna drag in the FBX we just exported from Mixamo, and there you go. It's right on top of our original character. It didn't come over with textures, but copying from our old character is easy. Just Shift select the old character, hit Control L to link data, and link materials. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna be the base model. Let's go ahead and hide this guy. And let's download some animations. First things first, let's search for idle. This is if we're not controlling him, he's just standing around. And I kind of like breathing idle, that's a nice one. So let's just hit download with skin, and let's just call this idle. Good, now we need walking. So let's search for something simple and make sure you click in place. There you go, that one's good. Let's download that. And we can always switch these out later. We don't have to be married to any of these. We can always change it. Let's search for a sprinting one. Again, just make sure you click in place and download. Okay, now for the jumping, you'll notice a lot of animations have a little bit of a build-up, anticipation. We actually want to trim that out because as soon as we press spacebar, we're actively jumping. So something like that should work. Now there is a slow walk function. You can either find a slow walking animation or you could do something like crouching. I'm going to do crouching for mine. And then as of right now, we have room for one additional animation. It's just called the interact animation. This could be anything. It could be opening a door, it could be waving, it could be punching, whatever you want. Let's actually do a wave for this one. And that's all we need. Back in Blender, let's open up the third person kit add-on and go to character. This is where we select our armature for the character that we want to control. And that's going to automatically create a character camera for us. Then under animation setup, let's just choose all these animations. So idle, walk cycle, crouch or slow walk, sprint, jump. And by the way, if you leave any of these blank, it's not going to ruin anything. And finally, interact is our wave animation. Now these are just FBX files, they're not animations. So to set that up, just click character setup. Now we can close that. And under recording, we do want to record keyframes. Under animation, you could see that automatic setup, it has selected each of our animations from the FBX files. And as long as we have the same skeleton for all of those, this should work beautifully. Notice I do have an offset function here. What this is sometimes you capture an animation and the feet aren't quite touching the ground, for example. So we might be good when we're in an idle stance, but as soon as we start walking, we start to hover above the ground. So this offset value is just to adjust the Z location of your character because some animations might not touch the ground. Then we have animation speed. That's just the speed that these animations will play back at. We have blend time. This is blending between animations. So if you're walking and you go into a sprint, you might need a fraction of a second to kind of blend between those so it's not too jumpy. That's it for animation for now. Let's look at movement. Now you can adjust these values to match your animation. So some animations will be walking faster than others. So this is where you would go and fine tune that. You have movement speed, you have a run multiplier, slow walk multiplier or crouch, and rotation smoothing. Rotation smoothing is actually the character movement rotation. So if you're going from walking forward to turning right, there's a little bit of a blending there. So again, it's not too jumpy. Under jump, we just have jump force and gravity. By default, this is earth gravity. You can increase or decrease whatever you want to do here. Now under collisions primarily happen automatically. Everything in the scene is automatically added as a collision object, and you can enable collisions here. If you want to ignore anything, so for example, if I had a door mesh through this doorway and I wanted to walk through it because I'll animate the door after the fact, you could put that in a collection and then just identify that collection here, and that'll actually be ignored. Okay, vertical damping smooths the vertical motion. So for example, the classic example is walking up steps. If this damping is set to 0, you'll walk up these steps and it'll kind of jump every step, your character will. So vertical damping just smooths that out, lessens the effect and averages it so you have more of a smooth, natural walk up those steps. And then you can show the collision capsule at controller start. This is just a debugging option. I'll keep it on so we can see what's going on. That's just going to show your capsule so you can see where your collisions are. That's it for collisions. Let's go into camera. Camera distance is the distance the camera is from the character. Camera height, self-explanatory, it's the height. If we go into our camera right here, this looks pretty good. Maybe I'll lower this to like 1.2, and that'll jump down as soon as we start the controller. Mouse sensitivity is just the mouse movement as you look around. And camera smoothing is kind of a delay between when you move your mouse and the camera averages out its motion as well. So we'll just leave all these at the default. 0.3 for camera smoothing is plenty. And then last stop before we start the controller is the actual controls. Let's just have a look. WASD on the keyboard is to move around, Shift is to sprint, Control is to slow walk or crouch depending on the animation you have, Spacebar is jump, E is your interact or your extra animation. Then if you hold down right click and move the mouse, you will look around, and escape is to exit the controller. I don't currently have gamepad support. That's something I have planned for future versions. So as of right now, it's just old school keyboard WASD. Okay, Moment of truth. I'm going to go to solid view mode just to make it easier on my computer, and let's click Start Controller. And right away we see there's an issue with the collision mesh. That is not the shape of our character. So what's going on? One really important step is you should select your character before you start the controller. Hit Control A and you can apply your rotation and your scale. Now let's start controller and see if that fixed it. And now let me show you how to get multiple characters going in a scene. So let's go back to frame 1. Let's say this first character kind of starts and walks over to this door, waits for a second, goes through, turns around. I don't know, I'm just kind of making this up. And he stands right here. Let's end that animation. Let's go back to frame 1. Let's simply duplicate our character. So Shift D. And this time, since we have the same skeleton, we don't have to set anything new up. Let's just get rid of this character and select this new armature for this character that automatically create the control camera. Let's go back to frame 1, and all we need to do is start the controller. And there you go. Our existing animation isn't affected. Let's go wait behind him. He walks through the door. Excuse me, get out of our way. We'll walk through here. There you go. Now, if you go back to frame 1, let's take a look at the scene. We have animated multiple characters, and you could do this over and over again. If you wanted to animate a crowd, you just jump to the new character. If you have a different armature, you set it up. If you have the same armature, you don't need to do anything. You just switch over to the new character and animate the new one. So yeah, there it is. Thanks for checking out this new tool. I've been working really hard on it. If you want it, you can go pick it up on Superhive, formerly Blender Market, or if you want, you can also get access through Patreon, where you'll get updates and new features that I'm working on. This is really only release version 1. I really have a lot of features and things that didn't make it into this version just due to time, but that I want to continue working on. For example, I'd love to get gamepad support in there, among a few other things. If you have any suggestions, go contact me over on the Patreon as well. Let me know what you plan to use this for and what features you want to see. For me, I'm using this for my own animation. I have a personal project, Night Shift Archive, where I kind of make mock video games and I explore environments through storytelling there. But you might have something totally different in mind. You might want to use this tool as previs or a blocking pass on actual animation for your series. Whatever you're working on, I'd love to hear about it as well. Anyway, that's all for me. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.